Okay, so I hope you guys like my little statement, but it's the truth, unfortunately. Uh, I've just seen such a difference in the in American women lately, and so just driving across the country, we're actually LA to Seattle as our destination. We were going to do the Chicago to Nevada, but we're going up. I guess it's the West Coast, and just being able to read and take some notes, and I do a lot of reading on the airplane whenever I fly, and so I just really feel like I've got some good material to kind of help you guys. We are coming to the end of our seminar year, and so a new seminar year is starting. You guys know that's our Mary Kay do-over. We get do-overs, and so we're always excited. Starting July 1, the scoreboard is wiped clean, and as I always say, you don't want to wait till July 1 to get revved up. You want to hit that start-finish line in full speed so that, so that you are going 90 miles an hour when the new year starts. And so just wanted to share with you guys a few things about what it takes from, what champions are made of to help them kick it into fifth gear. And that's what our theme is. So here's what I want to say. Can you close this door? Hang on. I mean, it was quiet until I started talking. Close the door. And we're recording this. I thought it was going to be nice and quiet. Okay, so here's what I want you to know, because I realize not everybody can come into Mary Kay or look at the Mary Kay and get super excited about the trips, the prizes, the trinkets, the rings, the diamonds, the cars. And here's why. And it's because people have needs. They have financial needs that have to be met. And so sometimes you're in such an urgent sit. Does she lock it? Okay, got it? All right. We're not locked out of the RV. That's good. And so there's, people have, family urgencies like financial things that they can't even think about fun stuff. They can't even think about prizes. And I've always kind of been like that. I was never prize motivated. And so what I want to tell you is that there's a lot of Mary Kay people like that Mary Kay is just the vehicle to get you the things that you need. The prizes are just the gravy. And so when when Mary Kay kind of, sprinkles the gifts, it's the extra. But I think so many people get lost in the fact that, I got to go after a prize. No, it's the stepping stones. Like, there are very few material things that Mary Kay offered that I wanted just for myself. Most of the time, I knew the outcome of hitting that goal was going to benefit my family. And it was always about my family and creating an income, creating my financial future for my family, which brought in the private schools. And so that's what I want you to wrap your head around tonight, is that forget the prizes, forget all these things, because I already can see that people didn't get excited about, a lot of people that we're associated with didn't get excited about the cruise. And I think it's because they need money. Well, I'm here to tell you, you missed the boat when you didn't go after the cruise, because the cruise brought in a lot of money just by working toward that goal. And so you have to see what Mary Kay was trying to do, and that was help you build a solid business. Because sometimes when life is too messy, sometimes we need a little bit of fun, to take the pressure off, but you're still working. And so on the plane over here to LA, I had 4 hours of reading, and I watched the documentary. And so I watched the Serena Williams comeback documentary, and it's true, champions have a different year. And this whole thing came from her husband talking about her comeback. She had a pregnancy, she had an emergency delivery, she had a blood clot that almost killed her, she has a blood clot disease, and yet she still was trying to come back and get in the same form that she was in. She won she won the Australian Open while she was newly pregnant, and so she wanted to get back in that form. And he's not an athlete, and she will, on the documentary, it was funny, she said he's a geek, so he has no athletic ability at all. So he doesn't probably know fifth gear. And he said, Serena's a champion. Champions just have different gears. And I said, I thought to myself, you're exactly right. Champions have a fifth gear. And I want to tell you, I want to help you figure out how to get that fifth gear, how to kick it in fifth gear, okay? There's a quality that champions possess, and the knowledge of what they want and the burning desire to get it, or to possess it. If you never finish something really big, you may never have hit your fifth gear, all right? And that's okay, because ordinary people have it on the inside. You can find that fifth gear. It's simple. You need to know that there is aching and wanting something really bad, and it's not all roses. And so we're going to talk about what makes people tuck their tail and run when they want something really bad. Ambition, aspirations, desire can be uncomfortable, even painful. And that's what I'm talking about, is that nervous feeling, that scared. What makes people rise to the occasion when they have that feeling? This is, like I said, this is that feeling of that nervousness when you have those things that, oh, I just came into Mary Kay, I've got my starter kit. You start dreaming big. We get a little tingle in our stomach. What keeps you going? Because lately, so many people just packed up their starter kit and ran. And I'm like, what the heck is happening? I almost ordered a new starter kit for myself just to see what was in it. That is scaring the daylights out of everybody, because I have never seen so many chickens in all my life. And this is recorded. And I sent this text to some chickens, let me just tell you, that text that I sent, because like, I dare you to open that starter kit up. But not, you can learn to fight through that feeling, okay? As long as you have a burning desire, okay? So champions have a burning desire to get what they want. Now, getting what you want, it doesn't have to be a Mary Kay car, but earning that Mary Kay car gets you the money that you might need. Does that make sense? I wanted to have mortgage free. I wanted my kids to be in private school. Pink Cadillac got me that extra income. Driving that pink Cadillac, I knew would bring in 70 to 100,000 a year, give or take. I knew that was the kind of money that I needed to be able to afford all my kids in private school. Do you see my point? It wasn't about the pink Cadillac. Now, the material things I wanted in this business was the pink Cadillac. I want that $500,000, 3.5 carat ring. I wanted to be a sales director, and I want to be a national sales director. All the little things in between, sure, I was working toward them. Quarter sharing, the diamond bubble bees. I was working toward them because it was on the journey to my destination to get what I wanted. All right. And so you have to think outside the box to figure out what it is that you need, okay, that your burning desire is. It might be that you never have to worry at the end of the month how much money you have in the bank before, payday. It might be that kind of comfort. It's okay if it's that. It might be that you don't ever have a car payment again. That's pretty sweet. I'll just tell you. You get it. It might just be a monthly need for your family financially. All right. The pain of wanting, the burning desire to possess what you lack is the greatest ally that you have. And so that feeling of wanting it and that burning desire to have it is your friend. It is not your enemy, okay? That's actually what helps you kick it into fifth gear. It's a force that you can harness to create what you want in your life. All right. But so few people have ever worked really hard for something and went for it. They just always settle for status quo. And that is a life of regret. Okay. Just living that paycheck to paycheck is a life of regret where you can't do the things that you want to do. You can't try new adventures. You can't, you know, you guys know all the things that you can't do. You can make a list a mile long, but you can start now with the things that you want to do, your bucket list. I mean, things that you want to do, the extras. Once those needs, those urgent needs are met, the size of the problem determines the size of the person. You can gauge the limitations of a person by the size of the problem that gets her down. So if you were at my last meeting or my last two meetings, you know that my first meeting in my new basement studio, I had a gallbladder attack that lasted 10 hours. I still did my meeting. I'm not tooting my own horn, but I'm going to tell you that was the most pain I've ever been in. The very next meeting was the day that my boys left. I had no idea when we dropped them off on Monday at 3 o'clock that we were, and I cried, that we had to go back, that they said, oh, you can come back at 6:30 and have dinner. Pick them up at the hotel. Okay. We went and did that, took them out, I cried some more. Then they say, oh, if you want to go up to the Fort Gillem at 9:30 in the morning, you can watch and get sworn in. Oh, okay, we'll do that. Change my whole day around, but we're going to do that. Watch them get sworn in at 11:30. Then they say, oh, if you'll wait around, you can watch them all run to the bus. It's a dramatic experience. They run out with their backpacks. Families are cheering them on. There's no way we were going to miss that. More emotions, more emotions. I finally get home at 4:30. Have to figure out what to feed everybody in the meeting. And I was an emotional wreck. But I pulled from within because I knew that I had to be motivating. You know what? I've learned in 18 years that it's not all roses, okay? I committed to that meeting both those times, and I held that meeting. You know, life is going to test you to see what you want, okay? And that's what champions are made of. That's how champions kick it into fifth gear. You can measure the impact of a person's life by how the size of the problems she solves. The better you are at solving the problems, the bigger your income will be. I'm going to say that again because I think it's huge. The better you are at solving problems, the bigger your income will be. People who live with huge, vivid, articulate dreams are pulled along toward those dreams with such force that they are practically unstoppable. All right, so let's talk about that. People who have dreams and visions that are so big, the force of that pull them along. They keep going. They don't know how to stop because they feel the desire and the burning desire from the core of their very being. Have you ever wanted something that bad? Or are you numb? If you are numb right now, then you have lived a kosher life of just getting by, just settling for status quo. That is living a life of regret, okay? Think about successful people who you've watched over the years, even maybe yourself when you knew you were in beast mode, okay? It might have just been, you know, a few weeks ago on Boxer, we were talking about beast mode. I talked about when I was 15 years old, it was my last year in senior league softball in Snoy, and there was no other softball teams to be on unless you played for high school. And if you were a cheerleader, you couldn't play softball. And I knew it was going to be my last game. Of course, I went on to play women's league and church leagues, but I didn't know that. It was my last year, and I had never won a championship. And it came down to my senior league year. I was 15. The last game of the season, we were tied with the Rockets, and I was up to pitch. I was in the rotation to pitch, and I pitched my heart out. And Mr. Reiner, who was the umpire, came up to me and said, "That was the best pitching I've ever seen." We won the game, but not a lot of people knew that I threw my arm out and was never able to pitch again. but I was in beast mode. 15, I was able to pull it and win that game. And I want you to think back, even if you have to go back to 15 and figure out, because at some point in your life, you knew how to win. You knew how to win. You've got to get that childlike Friday night feeling again. It's okay. I know life brings some crappy stuff, but you can rise to the occasion and do it anyway, okay? It wasn't magic that made those people that are champions exceptional character. You learn that along the way. It's a force of nature, that the power of the burning desire, okay? Burning desire is the key word, okay? Power of a dream, that's your fifth gear. Your vision can create such a magnetic force, okay? What do you really see? What do you see yourself doing? It doesn't have to necessarily be on stage at seminar. Do you see writing that check for your final house note and there's a zero balance? Do you see that? What a happy day. What a happy day. Then get busy booking your skincare classes. Figure out how much extra you need to make that extra house note every month. Cut that mortgage in half just by doing how many skincare classes a month. Do you see how you can break it down with your skincare classes, or even per face, just by knowing your activity, knowing your number? And then as you start to build, it swells your customer base. So your reorders get bigger and bigger. And when you're making that extra payment, before long, you're making that triple payment. How awesome. And then you've cut your mortgage down to like, oh my gosh, 5 years. It just takes you sitting down and figuring out what is your burning desire. I'm talking about real life stuff tonight because I think that's where you are. I think that's why nobody tried to earn the cruise, because you're too busy dealing with life stuff, and that's okay. But you can harness the force of that burning desire. Everyday people like us can do it. It's inside us. If you don't harness that burning desire, you quit dreaming, you let go of your dreams, your goals, and your ambition, and you settle for less. That is, here's the scary word, that is 95% of America, okay? 5% of us, I'm talking about us because I know you can do it, 5% of us can pull from within, from that burning desire, and rise to the occasion and kick it into fifth gear. It's a choice. You're not on this call by accident. You are not on this call by accident. There's something that I'm meant to say tonight that you need to hear. And you know why? Because I pray about every call. It is not by accident. God is over everything, even the little minute details. Mary Kay is a culture of hope, dreams, ambition, and you're at the right place at the right time. Remember when you were a kid, let's talk about that, when you were a kid and you believed you could do anything, okay? It never occurred to us as kids that there were obstacles and boundaries tied to our goals and our dreams. I mean, think about some of the things you used to dream about, you know. Our minds were filled with possibilities. As a teenager, you have that Friday night feeling, you know. I don't know if you've ever, I was a cheerleader, so I love Friday nights. In the fall, I can walk outside and smell the grass, and the feeling comes back that Friday night. I can hear drum lines, and Friday night comes back. And so getting that excitement, your life's ahead of you, getting that Friday night feeling is so important to get it back. When we go to seminar and the music's playing, we're walking into the arena for the first time when the seminar is getting ready to open, it's that Friday night feeling. It's that Friday night feeling of hopes and dreams and ambition, and your life's ahead of you. Your seminar year's ahead of you. What happened to us as adults? Well, life slapped us in the face. We're faced with frustrations, disappointments, more responsibilities. You wake up and life has dealt, and you feel like I may have to, y'all let me know if I go, it says unstable connection. So let's pray that it stays. You wake up and you feel like life has dealt you a bad hand. And you also feel like life has passed you by. Those are false messages, okay? Those are failure messages. We've got to stop thinking like, woe is me. It's just me. I've been dealt a bad hand. People who once wanted to conquer the world have given up. You've given up, and you've got to get it back. And you can get it back starting today. When I was a little girl, talking about little girl, your dreams as a kid, as a toddler, I lived with my grandmother till I was 5, and I would take my Aunt Debbie and my Aunt Carol's yearbooks, and I would flip through, and I always went to the page, the cheerleaders. I didn't even know what a cheerleader was. I didn't go to my first high school football game until I was actually a freshman cheerleader, but I knew I wanted to cheer. Well, here's the obstacle and the boundaries that I didn't think about. I didn't have a voice. I couldn't talk. A sound wouldn't come out. I had blockage in my throat from the time I was born until I had a growth spurt at 9 years old. And so it was right at 9 years old, my voice started coming through, but it was like a frog, because I was learning how to speak again. But at 10 years old, I wanted to cheer. But I never thought about I would never be a cheerleader because I couldn't talk. I just knew I was going to be a cheerleader. And the doctors tried to stop me. My mom tried to stop me, and I fought them all because I had a burning desire to be a cheerleader. What cheerleading did for me, it brought me out of my shyness. It gave me confidence. It taught me how to be a leader. I knew I wanted to be captain. I was 3 years old. I didn't know what a captain of the cheerleading squad was, but when I learned how to read at 4, captain, I wanted to be the captain. And that's what I became. JV captain, co-captain my junior year, captain my senior year. I know these are little things, but these were the beginning of my journey of being a champion and kicking it into 5th gear, not even realizing what my obstacles were. We have to stop thinking of what is ahead and just know that we're going to jump over those obstacles when we get to them. That's what champions do. So instead of feeling that life has missed you and that you have no more opportunities, it's an attitude. How do you win again? How can you rev it up and kick it into gear? You must believe in yourself. Again, number 2, you have to see yourself winning. You guys see yourself winning? If not, it's daily. You start working on it daily. You're not going to change overnight because these negative messages has been playing in your head for a long time. And when you get down and you stay down, you've got to learn to dig yourself out of that pit. When you are a leader and a champion, the first person you lead is you. We've always said that in Mary Kay. See yourself winning, doing something special, believing you're special again. Be different, okay? It's okay to be different. That's what champions are. If you've got belief in yourself, you're richer than most people. Okay, you're richer than the 95% who have already given up and accepted status quo. Life will give you what you fight for. You must show up to fight for it. Life will give you whatever you accept also. Okay, demand happiness, success, and fulfillment. That's what you have to fight for. Life will turn out the way you see it turning out. Change the picture in your head starting tonight. Start dreaming a different dream and seeing it. I have told you guys over and over about my vision of becoming a sales director that I played in my head every single morning during my 3 months of qualifications to become a sales director. And it played out just as I envisioned it, okay? Just as I envisioned it. Your brain doesn't know the difference between a dream and reality. It goes to work to make it happen. So don't allow negativity to feed your brain. It will shut you down, which is what it's done, and make you live a life of less. All right, you have to start seeing happiness, success, fulfillment in your life. If all you see is failure, disappointment, that's how life turns out. So if life is not going the way you want it to, give it. Oh, if life is not going to give you anything, that's okay. It's not going to give you anything. You have to go get it. Life is not going to give you anything. You have to fight for it. You've got all you need. Belief, you deserve a place in this world, and you determination to get it. You have to believe that you deserve more. You have to you've got to demand that fifth gear. You have to pull from within to get to that fifth gear. You've got to learn to dream again. Get that nervous tingle in your stomach. It's okay. We fall down, we get back up. Success is a bunch of failures all in a row. Somebody that quit was never successful. Compete again. Adults forget how to win. Okay? You forget how to win that championship game. The Rockets versus the Comets. You forget how to win. You've got to remember when you won your last game, when you were in beast mode. Find that girl again. Find that little girl again that knew how to win. You keep competing until you win. That's just like what I just said. You keep falling down, get back up, falling down, getting back up. It's okay to ask for more from life than you've been asking. So as a Christian, sometimes I think, you know what, I'm so blessed. Is it wrong for me to want more? No, it's not wrong. Our God is a big God. He is a big God. And the more he gives you, the more he gives you, the more you turn around and use to glorify him. Okay? Failure messages. Let's talk about that quickly. What are failure messages? You're going to get them from everybody, family, loved ones. They're the hardest to take when it comes from loved ones. They're adults. As adults, we're bombarded with them. It's impossible to get away from them. They make us abandon our dreams, and they make us give up. These are people that think that they are saving you from the hurt of failure. Oh my goodness, you learn so much more from failure than you ever do from success. Don't let those people steal your dreams. The key to overcoming them and winning is an inside person. It's the inside job. No test, no IQ, no pedigree. It's all inside. Okay, you don't have to have a college degree to be a champion. Character and people and the ability. A true test of a woman's character is what it takes to stop her. One of my all-time favorite quotes. True test of a woman's character is what it takes to stop her. Common sense is far more important than book sense. Far more. I've never had book sense. I was a C student, but I had common sense, and I could outwork everybody I knew. Only those two things going for me. I could outwork everybody, and I had street smarts. I had common sense. That's it. And I wasn't a quitter. I didn't ever quit at anything. Failure messages. Here's some failure messages that we might tell ourselves or that other people tell us. You're not smart enough. You're not pretty enough. You're not athletic enough. Give up. And then bad timing. Life is not fair. Here are the choices that you can override those failure messages in your head. This is what you can tell yourself. I have common sense. I'm a hard worker. I have character. I know how to win. I'll train harder. I'll work harder. Never quit. Accept responsibility. Best. I'll do my best. I'll succeed. Have a positive attitude. These are some positive messages and choices that you can tell yourself. You can give in to failure messages and be a bitter and full of excuses, okay? Or choose to be happy, positive, excited about life. My first failure message, I just told you about my first failure message, was you can't cheer. You can't use your voice. You lose your voice again, you'll never be able to speak. Those were failure messages that I kept hearing as a little girl, but I knew I was going to be a cheerleader. And I'm still a cheerleader. I cheer you guys on all the time. Don't quit. Let's see. Don't give in to what ifs. Okay. Don't have a near life experience. You guys have heard my funny stories about people in my life that I know that had near life experiences. My mother-in-law is one of them. She's always playing it safe. To make a beautiful quilt for every grandchild, but not ever send it to them until they're 18.
Security and safety. If these things are not being met, it is extremely hard to move to the next level. To have friends, to have decent relationships if you're so concerned about getting your basic needs met. As the next, those basic needs are met, and then you develop relationships, then it's a lot easier for you to advance up there and do things like, improve your self-esteem, have that prestige and feeling of accomplishment. And then the very top, this self-actualization, this self-fulfillment needs, achieving all of the things, all your dreams and goals. But it starts at the bottom. And thankfully, Mary Kay is a vehicle that will take you from the bottom all the way to the top. You don't have to be ready. It's the vehicle that gets you there. Everything you need, the physical needs, the intangible needs, is all through your business and everything. So, did anybody learn something new there?
All right, I'm back. Thank you. Okay, so I'm almost, can you guys see me? Can you see me? Okay, good. I'm almost finished. I know you guys know I like to end on time. And so don't go through life having a near-life experience because you're afraid of failure. You guys have heard my funny stories about people in my life. I had an aunt that would only sit on her new sofa with the plastic still on it. I had a friend who parked her brand new car and kept driving her old car because she didn't want to mess it up. Don't have a near-life experience. Go through life guns blazing, full speed, hair flying, screaming out loud, living life out loud. So you got to go for it. That's how you get in fifth gear. Our country has become soft. It's easier for really tough people to succeed more because people quit so at the drop of a hat. And so you guys saw my little text that I sent out to kind of entice everybody to call in. So many people quit because they don't know how to pull from within and kick it into fifth gear. The secret to winning and hitting your fifth gear is not talent. It's not looks. It's not college degree or privileged background. It's a burning desire. A burning desire to win, a burning desire to have a different life, a burning desire to do something special and be different. All right, Marianne, you want to add anything? Thank you for taking over for me.
That's all I was going to say was to add the Maslow's hierarchy so they could see a visual of like literally how you have to have your needs met and then how you get to the top and how Mary Kay's vehicle will get there.
Yes. All right, so I hope this was motivational for you guys and that it was helpful for you to be able to kick it into gear. I want you to Vox or text your sales director and tell her what is your most urgent desire or need so that we can break it down for you, okay? We're going to eat this elephant one bite at a time. All right. Anybody want to say anything? I hope this was fun. Can y'all hear the birds? So beautiful here. All right, everybody. Thank you. It's recorded. At least the most of it is. It'll be on there tomorrow. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.